You know, I've got to be honest, after living in the city for such a long time, when I moved back to the Barossa, I think I jam-packed my pockets full of romantic notion when it comes to things like growing my own fruit and preserving. The thing is, when you grow your own fruit, it becomes a necessity that you know how to preserve, because there's nothing romantic about it when all of your fruit is ripe all on the same day and you don't want to lose any of it because it's taken you all year to get to that point. Well, you've got to find yourself a couple of those Barossa girls who know how to answer such things, don't you? Luckily, I have Marika is here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
And Cheryle's here.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having us in your beautiful shearing shed.
That's quite all right.
I have never preserved fruit.
Yep.
I've always wanted to know how to do this, and you girls have just mastered it. Teach me your ways.
There's a couple of different techniques. So what you're doing is you're creating a shelf-stable product that isn't going to spoil. So there's one way to do that, and you can add a preservative.
Yeah.
Now there's three very natural preservatives: salt, sugar, and acid or vinegar.
Yep.
So when we're talking about jams and sauces and chutneys, that's what we're doing. We're creating an environment that's so high in any one of those three things that the food doesn't spoil. This is Fowler's Vacola preserving. What we're doing here is a different technique. It's creating a vacuum. So it's an anaerobic environment. We're removing the air.
Ah.
So the food doesn't spoil.
Okay, and that's why you can leave it on your shelf looking pretty all
That's
year and
right.
it doesn't go bad.
That's right.
You seem to be ridiculously able to just do that really quickly and they spiral into this
No, they don't.
stunning fashion of perfectly placed apricots. How do you do that?
You can do it with a pack.
One of
Like Shirley's
these.
got a packing stick.
Okay.
So it's got a little lip on the end. It holds the piece of fruit. Drop it into the
Oh, I
jar.
thought you were just balancing that brilliantly. Oh, okay.
No, and
Well,
you-
that's good to know.
And if you don't have one of those, a vintage butter knife works just as well.
I've got plenty of those.
So you just
And it
place
also depends on what size jar you're using. So for example, if you're using one of these, it's got a big wide mouth, you can just fit your hand in.
Yeah, you can just
Oh,
drop them in.
okay.
Yeah, depends on the size that you're using, and if you want to be neat, or depending if you've got halves. So I was doing halves then, but say you've got a clingstone peach where you can't get the seed out like you
Yeah.
can with these, then you can just cut cheeks off
Oh, you can cut
and just
like that.
drop them in. It doesn't have to
Or
be.
you can just do
Very
them whole.
precise.
So those
Or
are
you can do
just
them
whole
whole.
tomatoes.
See, that appeals to me because that seems like a good place to
You
start,
just chuck
right?
the tomatoes
Yeah,
in
you just
whole.
Yeah, okay.
And you can do that with peaches and plums, and you can do it with
Oh, can you?
apricots.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything to that fruit, you haven't peeled it,
No.
No.
you haven't boiled it or
No, you might have given it a wash. And
Right.
That's
just washed it in the sink and that's it.
remove the stone.
Yes.
Your jars are sterilised.
Right?
No, they're just clean.
So they're going to be
So
sterilised in the preserving
The water bath
process.
sterilises them.
All right, so then you pack the fruit in and then what?
Well, if you're going to add any flavourings, so like for example these peaches we're going to do with basil leaf,
Oh, nice.
just to give them beautiful flavour. And then when you want them in summer, you can pull them out, char grill them, put them in a salad,
Yep.
put them in a pie, eat them straight out of the jar.
Yeah. All you're going to add is the basil
Yeah.
and some water. That's all you're going to add.
There's no
So
sugar in there.
There's no sugar in
Yeah.
there. There doesn't need to be. So
I always thought there was
the
sugar.
method that we're using to preserve is that the peaches or the things that you choose to preserve are higher in acid. So that also helps. So it's a bit like what Shirley was talking about with the vinegar,
Making it
that
safe.
you're wanting to make it safe by preserving something that's higher in acid. So all these natural stone fruits and the things that we've got here are highly acidic, so they're safe to do that way.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So for example, we do have some zucchinis here.
Okay.
Now zucchini is a low acid vegetable,
Yep.
so you can't preserve that in water.
Okay.
So that's preserved in a vinegar solution. So
Okay.
it's like a pickle.
Yeah, but it's the same process
It's the
from
same
there
process,
you put
yeah.
it in the bath.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Okay.
You can increase the acidity by adding either lemon juice into the jar or
Okay.
a little bit of citric acid. So things like pears that are a lower acidity, you can boost the acid up by adding a little bit extra. So
Okay.
lemon juice or citric acid. And the same with tomatoes because they're bred to be less acidic, so they're more palatable. A lot of people don't like acid in tomatoes. So if you're not sure of what variety of your tomato, it's just easier to add that little bit of acid, and then you know that you've preserved it correctly and it's safe to use.
Got it.
And it'll be on your shelf for 12 months plus.